Hey everyone, back here for some more matches with mono blue, blue Belcher in modern. Had some fun with the printings here, but if you want to see a deck tech, you can watch the video of match 2. I didn't record the first match of the league, but I talk about exactly why some of the numbers are the way they are and what the deck is. If you don't know how the deck works at all, I have a link to a primer in the video description of this video and previous. I also have a whole playlist of playing similar deck lists before the ban and before Flood Into the Flood Maw came out, if you want to watch through some more VODs. We get to be on the play here to start, which is always nice. Although I did play the one deck that didn't like it, Gigantha. So, could be Storm. I think more typically Storm, although it could also be some Prowess build or even some energy builds. This hand is interesting. It's close. So we're going to think about it. Harbinger could potentially be very good, although not typically against Ruby Storm. Force is very good. Oracle's kind of a dead card in our hand, but we can pitch it to Force. We have 3 lands plus this, which means we're very likely to have 7 mana on turn 4, which is... I think we're going to lean on these cards having decent interaction. And the fact that, like I said before, our deck doesn't mulligan very well because we need a density of cards versus specific cards in our hand for the most part. I think we are just going to play this one out. There's some debate to maybe holding this because it can go get interaction, whereas this is interaction on its own, but this could go get a force negation. I think this becomes better post-sideboard. Our opponent not having a turn 1 play is good for us, although it does lean into the fact that it's probably Storm, or they're more turn 2 play deck, and can sometimes win on turn 2, although I've lost to it on turn 1 in multiple videos, I believe twice. I don't think there's any reason to keep the second bloom in our hand. We can't pitch it to anything. And we do have to play out the disruption here because we want to have an untapped land for Harbinger next turn. Which makes it awkward because it would be nice to play Thoracle out now, but yeah, this is how it's going to be. Again, Thoracle is still our pitch spell to force. It would have been nice if instead of drawing the second Lotus Bloom, we drew any blue card, any other untapped land, or a Preordain, or, something. Steam Vents, Thundering Falls. Huh. Maybe it is a Slick Shot deck. A Murktide deck playing Gigantha? Seems a little odd. This looks more like... Because we're going to get to Harbinger and turn off red mana completely, I'm going to go ahead and force this. Force also exiles it so that a future, what's it called? Past in Flames, they can't get it back. We will play out the Seagate, bolt ourselves and get this Harbinger down. They now have to draw a basic mountain, which I'm sure they play a couple of, but we'll see what their blue cards are, maybe. Or they hopefully just keep passing the turn. And I mean, ideally we just draw a Belcher right now. Or Memory. Neither. Probably have enough mana where this won't disrupt them. Whereas this might actually be... They all come in untapped now. This might actually be a threat to help end the game. I guess I could hold both. I have enough mana. Another bloom coming off. I think we'll hold both. We could flash in this if they somehow have interaction for a Harbinger. Instant or sorcery, not creatures or artifacts or enchantments. Okay. Like I said, this is kind of our secret third win con. We're going to play this down just because this is 8 turn clock. Having a third means it's only a 5 turn clock, so it's a very significantly shortens the amount of turns they have to find an answer. Like I said, we got plenty of mana. Definitely want to keep those in hand. I sometimes just want to auto yield, but I want to hold up mana. I want to hold up interaction, so I can't auto yield. I got 4 more turns to find some sort of mono blue spell answer in a mostly red spell deck, because I've determined they're storm splashing blue. I assume blue is for like Consigned Memory and maybe a few other cards. I don't think we're going to get them with Harbinger again. They're going to fetch their basic mountains. Spell Snare is very good. Most of their cards cost 2. Stern Scolding hits Ral. Might be worth it, but I think we want Commandeer. I think we want Fluster Storm into the Floodmaw and hit Ruby. Snapback. I think we want the Brazen Bowers. I don't think Scolding's going to make the cut. I don't think the snapbacks are amazing. But subtleties are probably worth it, and again, they work as a threat as well. I think we need to keep blooms because we need to be fast. Shoal for 2 is our best. We did cut the... Borrowers and subtleties are slow win con. We cut the Harbingers. Is Commandeer worth it? Maybe not. Because like stealing a Ruby or just a Ren's Resolve is not that great. I mean, I know it's a free counterspell, but we have free counterspells. Free counterspells. They're always going off on their turn. We can interact with their stuff once it hits. We can interact with Ral. This is pretty good. We just trim a Preordained. There aren't a lot of 1-drops that we need to pitch this to Shoal. I'd rather just have a density of cards that interact. It's one of the few matchups where it's like their combo is like consistently faster than ours. Not few. There are quite a few. Most combo decks in Modern are actually faster. We just have the ability to interact while not diluting our combo, right? By having all these free blue spells and just all blue lands. One of the upsides to playing the deck. Always great to get game 1. Don't always expect to do that against Storm. This is a interesting hand. In a normal matchup, I'd keep this. The hard part against Storm is having a tapped lands means I can't cast Spell Snare. But again, I don't know that we really want to mulligan much. Do I mulligan though? Because I don't have a force and I can't interact with a turn 2 Ruby or Ral. Could draw an untapped land. It's unlikely. Not completely unlikely. It's hard to ditch this. I'm going to keep. I'll probably regret it. But we'll go to game 3. Again, this is a turn 4 win almost every time. It does have interaction, but just not the best or the fastest. We'll definitely get rid of the Veil. Watch them like go off with goblins, and I wish I had that for a time walk. That would be funny. Oh, we got an untapped land. I should have played that. Sorry, wasn't paying attention. Let's see if that cost us the game. I like did not even like click. Oh, they didn't fetch around a Harbinger. Medallion in the graveyard. Interesting. Can't get that back with Past in Flames. It's an interesting one to put in there. I assume we'll see Basic Mountain here. Yeah. They're gonna play around it now. So I could have countered this if I had played my land correctly. So we'll see if that ends up, like I said, costing us the game. Now I could play the Sync to hold up Jawari Disruption as well as maybe a Spell Snare. Trying to think of where I'd need Jawari over Spell Snare. I got another untapped land. We'll do that. I think it's worth bolting ourselves in the off chance that this ends up being relevant. It's hard when they have the cost reduction. I think we probably are just going to end up casting Spell Snare. Do I want to hit their card draw or a ritual? They have 4 cards in hand. I guess we just got to hit the first card they cast. I guess I'd rather them have mana and not cards to use it on, and this could be both. Whereas a ritual can only be mana. This could hit a ritual or more cards. There's a ritual. We unfortunately can't do anything about it. But if I had countered this on turn 1, turn 1, we might have been fine. We might be dead here. Oh wow, that's a really aggressive Past in Flames. Because they only have 1 Reckless Impulse. Of course, it hits Ritual Wish. If either of these cards had been a land, if Wish had been a land or even just another ritual, we would have been fine. But they get to wish for the Storm card that exiles cards, I assume, is what we're going to see. Look at, they cast Vizier Nogle. It's really funny because that count, instead of seeing wish, it sees Vizier Nogle, my account name. Did they like sideboard wrong? What's taking forever here? They should have the card. No, they went for goblins. Oh man, that joke about wishing I had not played Baying Coast is coming back to haunt me now. That's very strange. So I mean they can ritual cast it again, right? Because ritual is actually dark ritual, puts them up to 4 mana. No, they didn't go. Oh, because they'd have to cast Passive Flame again. Sorry. 10, 20. So I mean they have lethal. Look at that draw. Look at that just beauty. Well, let's be careful here. So I have a Lotus Bloom. I kept this hand because it could do that. So I can win next turn. Bane Veils means unless they have like Flusterstorm or something. Spell Snare. I don't know what they would have for blue, but we're not dead next turn. I'm going to have to tap 2 mana for this, so I don't really need to keep up an untapped mana. I can't keep up Jawari or Sink into Stupor. Anyway, I need Sink next turn to be able to go off, so I'm going to play Waterlogged Teachings. Or just Jawari. I don't think it really matters at this point. We have to cast Veil to win. To survive, rather. So we're going to do it on their upkeep. They only have 1 card in hand, so we hope it's not some weird counterspell. And this gives us a whole nother turn, and again, they could still have a Consignment Memory to like counter a Belcher or just counter the Lotus Bloom, I suppose. But we have a chance. We have a chance. I had a land in hand. That's good for us. They didn't bother attacking with their -1/1s. It'd be great if they healed you. Could wait till they attack. So let's see if this resolves. Does, and then the big test is if this one resolves. Uh-oh. It's not a good sign. Destroy target artifact. Shoot. Do we have any outs? So here's where playing the Jawari Luins last turn was actually the correct play. I can sack this for mana, tap 1 to try to Teachings for another Baying Coast. But that's a long shot. Or no, it's not a long shot. It just searches. Sorry, I thought it had to look at like the. It's not Salundi Vision. This is so much better than Salundi Vision. So we buy ourselves 1 more turn, right? I think that's my best play. Because I could Sing into Stupor this, but that does, kind of defeats the point. Puts it back in their hand. And I can't hold the mana for Belcher, so we cast this. Oh wait. Undo. Because I don't have another Lotus Bloom coming off. So I'd only have 4 mana next turn. But I definitely lose my mana. I'm going to the next phase. What else could I do? I can't. Bouncing a token doesn't. So I guess, yeah, I guess we're casting this. It's really our only option. Is there any magical card in here that can win us the game? I mean, I guess it's just another Bane Veil. But then next turn we go Char Belcher. And then we have to draw another Bane Veil. Like, I guess it's about our only chance. I have 22 tokens. Like, having a blocker doesn't do it. Yeah. I don't know. We could draw something. Disruption's not gonna do it. Yeah. 0 cards in hand. So I mean, we definitely buy ourselves another turn with this, but the only way to survive, we'd have to have enough mana to Belcher plus another Bane Veil. Or somehow we don't have enough to activate Belcher. Trying to go up again here. And yeah, I don't actually think we have an out here because although I could cast this next turn, I'm not going to survive a turn to activate it. I don't have any way to draw fast mana to make it happen. So I'm just thinking, I don't think it's worth making our opponent click through. I think we just are dead. They had the Flame of Anor. Do I want Commandeers maybe to protect from Flame of Anor? Giga Drowse. Snapback. I think we're okay to run it back. Subtleties only hit Ral. Basically. Do I want Harbingers instead? It does like limit their mana somewhat. But this is free interaction with Ral. Commandeer, the only blue card we saw was Flame of Anor, but they could also have Consign or something. Bring in 2 of those like that. Ah, that game was so close. But again, if I had gotten rid of that Ruby, they didn't draw Ral until that other turn, so they wouldn't have been able to like go off any of those turns in between. So that was a mistake that cost us that game. Not bad beats or a bad keep or anything like that. It just was, I didn't pay attention to the land I drew for turn. And could have been, you know, at 14 life and they would have had nothing instead. And so when they Flame Anored, we could have still cast a Belcher that turn and passed and then won the next turn. So if we lose a match, it's my misplay. It is what it is. Opponent's taking a while. Do 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 do. Selective Memory is the slower of the 2 wins, but it otherwise is a 3-land Lotus Bloom hand with Preordain and Commandeer, so I think it's worth the keep. The question is, do we want to Preordain early to try to draw? We don't have to worry about having to cast like I think we keep the Bane Veil. We do this. I think we're fine waiting to Preordain next turn. I don't think there's a turn 1 play we really care about. I'm probably just gonna fetch a Thundering Falls again. But we can dig for Force of Negation. We can dig for Spell Snare and play the untapped land. Selective Memory means it's just fodder now. I guess we can Commandeer Ruby, but if they play Ral, then we could maybe keep Brazenbower. Plus a land, because we need a 4th land. Maybe that's fine. we kind of have to hope that they only have one or the other, like one ruby or one Ral. If they have multiple and we deal with one, then we're just, you know, that seems to be all what happens to me often. It's like, oh, I counted a ruby, and everyone's like, look, it's that easy, and it's just like they just cast another one and I die. Like that's what happens every time. But oh my gosh, I just passed the turn without playing a land. Ah, Jesus. Sometimes I'm a dumb dummy. Sometimes I make dumb mistakes. Maybe we'll still win. Maybe we won't. I guess we don't need all 7 mana on turn 4 is the one upside. Sorry if that does end up costing us the game. I obviously don't have any red spells, so this isn't helping us at all, but we can still memory next turn and then Thassa's Oracle the turn after and hope that's good enough. Problem is he might be playing counter magic. Saying into the Flood Maw, that makes sense. It's a splash, it can deal with all the hate. He can fetch next turn. Can he wish and go off? I don't think so. Without, he needs a ruby or a Ral to really make that work. He didn't fetch shock and hit this bloom, which is interesting. Drawing the Thoracle means if I had done my land drops, we could win this turn. Or no, can I still do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only need 6. Ooh, interesting. This still is weak to various counter magic. The question is, do I leave a Thoracle in? It's so hard. They have Into the Flood Maw. So if I leave a Thoracle in here, they can just bounce this in response to the trigger, and I won't have any devotion, and it won't work. And then I'll have to survive another turn and cast it. But if I don't leave something in the deck, then I'm just really weak to Consign. What else could they have? I guess a Spell Snare, although that card isn't actually good against our deck, and I would hope that they didn't like bring it in against us. Can't get us with Spell Pierce, and they can't get us with Counterspell or Flame of Anor. They only have 1 mana open. I think it's best just to go for it this turn. To go all in, so to speak. Because we know they can play this into the Flood Maw, I would normally leave a Thassa's Oracle in the deck so that if they consign the first one, we would draw and then cast the second one. So we're going all in, which makes us weak to exactly consign. No more. Okay. Let's see what happens. Yield. We did it. We did it, folks. Take the screenshot. That's the one right there. It's been a while. Beautiful. Okay. Nice 2-1 win. We'll go into the next one. Into the next match with Jacobson. William, maybe? William. Anyways, I'm trying to read their name. They are playing first. They are keeping 7. I don't think this is keepable. Got some cool interaction. Double subtlety, double force is nice, but obviously 1 land is not going to get us there, and Thoracle's a pretty dead card. So, we will mull. We can bottom the Thoracle. We have double memory, actually. That's not great. 3 lands. Subtlety. Maybe we keep a Thoracle bottom of memory. Bottoming the Thoracle is better against Thoughtseize. Bottoming of memory is better against like energy decks where a 1/3 can block and bias turns. I'll bottom the memory. See how this goes. We still might end up ditching the Thoracle to a Subtlety if they like turn 1 Ocelot. Or Guide of Souls, honestly. Devourer of Destiny. Hey, I've played a lot of that card on my channel. What are they leaving on top of their deck? They exiled Grove. All does that. So it is the ramp version of the deck. Started out with Eldrazi Temple. Good start. Gonna draw whatever they left on top. We'll play out Drawing Disruption. It's probably not card into play. Do I want to preordain? Bolding ourselves probably doesn't make much difference. We're kind of dead to this deck, like exiling our lands and playing big stuff. We don't have a... I guess we're going to play this because we could still find a Bloom. We did find a Bloom. Well, there she blows. When you're on the draw, sometimes you just gotta dig a couple cards for the Lotus Bloom. This doesn't set us up for a turn 4 win with memory unless we still draw another preordain, but I think being faster is going to be good, especially against a deck that can like exile our lands. Oh man. If we were on the play, this would be great. I think because we drew that, we are just going to play this out instead of playing Thoracle. And we just got to hope that Subtlety stops whatever they're playing this turn, and then we Harbinger and just shut them out of the game. That's our hope. We'll see if it all plays out, Jackson. And we can exile 1 Thoracle because we have a second one from memory to leave in our deck. What is our opponent thinking about? Now it says they're waiting on me. I was waiting on you. I promise. If they play another Temple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they still can't kick the Myco Spawn. I hate that card. I like playing with it on my side, but I hate playing against it. I think it's probably balanced enough for Modern. No plays? No Thought Knot. No Myco Spawn. Wow. Slow start. I mean, they play big cards, but this is gonna put a damper in their plans. At least that's our plan. We'll see if it works. I assume there's gonna be a Kozilek's command in response to make, they'll have 2 colorless tokens. That's the only thing they could, like, there's no way they keep a 7 where they can't do that. So they'll still be able to cast a card or 2, but they won't be able to cast their Myco Spawns because they won't have green mana. And they'll still be able to cast like more Kozileks. Like maybe Kozilek Harbinger. We're scrying 2 right now. Can this hit Kindred? No, it has to be creature or planeswalker spell. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they play land, they have 6 mana. They can't devour or all his dust yet. Do I assume we'll be seeing those? 1 ring. Can't hit that, unfortunately. Though it's not the scariest thing they can do, obviously. We're not trying to win this turn anyway. And if we had Belcher, we could just do it on their upkeep. I do kind of hope we can't draw Belcher and win because we need another land too, so we'll just go for the memory win this turn. We have 6 mana. This doesn't care if they have protection, right? You win the game. Yep, that doesn't care. It's like, what's it called? Honey Badger? Just doesn't care. It's the second time we're seeing the Thoracle line working with one in hand. I haven't actually, like, I don't think I've actually done that before this league. I've done it where I have Preordain in hand and 7 mana. I have done that one with Selective Memory, but Selective Memory looking better than I've ever seen. It almost makes me want to run a couple more Thoracle because of being able to win off of 6 mana instead of 7. If you keep it in hand. And obviously we're willing to pitch it to Subtlety if we needed to, although that last turn I could have pitched into the Flood Maw if they had something, but they didn't. Man, I hate this. This doesn't make for great content, watching me try to, like, click everything and make it turn green, but pretend it's a mini game. The boss is old MTGO client, and we are in a boss fight trying to click things. Still more. What are we missing here? We're missing these Jawaris, even though I've clicked them like 3 times already. No more. Okay. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. Nice ring. It's cool, but it doesn't do anything. I like how they wait for you to click. Like, they exiled their entire library. They're probably going to pass the turn, right? We bring in Commandeer. We can steal rings, and we can steal Kozilek commands? Question mark. We bring in Harbingers. For sure. Stern Scolding does not really hit anything in their deck. Kikadrowth could be worth it here. Snapback isn't as good because a lot of their stuff has cast triggers. You know, World Breakers and Michael Spawns and even Thought-Knots. It's like we draw when we return it, but then they get to exile another card. Don't think we need the Jace. They're not playing Consigned to Memory or other mill. Just keep in mind, anyone playing Kozilek's Command, you do have to watch out. They don't make you draw a card in response to Kozilek's to Thoracle. Obviously, my opponent was tapped out there, so I didn't talk about it in that matchup specifically. That game specifically. Spellsnare hits Talismans, but I think that's about it. So, like, our rest of our stuff probably isn't worth it. We maybe want these cards, but I don't think so. I think we keep our subtleties 100%. Our forces, I mean, they're decent on average. What do I want more, force or snapback? Just want to force more. Can hit an Olive Dust, can hit. They mostly cause a command on our turn. Can hit the ring. We have Into the Flood Maw. Keep one snapback. Don't think we want these ones. It's just, this is too slow and can be, like, he just plays a World Breaker and it's like, great. Yeah, I think these cards are better than forces most of the time. Bouncing stuff just really isn't that good against them. Disrupting Shoal might be a cut. I think, well, I don't know. We have some 4s we can pitch to it to counter the Myco Spawn and Ring. Maybe I just don't want any snapback. I can't really think of a situation where returning their creatures is going to help us, other than, I mean, it could maybe one turn, but I'd rather have cards that really disrupt them. It's a fair hand. It's a little slower, but Commandeer maybe can cheat us out something. Stealing a big Kozilek's Command could be fun, and we know that stealing Ring is just the pièce de résistance. Yeah, this hand does stuff. See what they exile, get an idea of what they're looking for. Exiling a Kozilek's Command is interesting. And a Talisman. I wonder if they were just looking for a land. Maybe they needed the green source. They took the one that gives us life instead of damages them. There's really much difference in this matchup. They revealed another grove. Must have been a bad 5, or they really need the green-red sources, huh? We're gonna play the Veil. It's pretty useless in this matchup. And like we said, the teachings could actually be useful with Shoal. And the disruption, maybe we get to cast this following turn. We can like play the restoration untapped. We could commandeer this, maybe. That seems pretty ridiculous. Why not? I like having more mana and slowing them down. Was that a good play? Probably not. Was it the play we chose? Yes. It means we get to turn 3 our Belcher instead of 4. So maybe it pays off. It looks like it so far. I feel pretty ridiculous. Ooh. A piece of candy. Do I go for memory? Or do I just Belcher? How many Besage do they typically play? I'm gonna go look at a deck list here. I guess you can watch me look at it. It's not the secret here. Eldrazi Ramp. This one's playing blue for Consignment Memory. Interesting. No Besaju in this one. This is a Karn. Do they typically play Karn? I wasn't playing Karn. Is this one playing Karn? No. This one has Karn in the sideboard. Interesting. So it becomes a Karn board. Yeah, it makes sense. They really want lands that are ETB, not. I think I'm going to go with this. It might be smarter to play memory, but I'm not sure. Memory, if they're holding a Kozilek's command or 2, they technically could mess us up, even if I put. Okay, yeah, they can see there. We got him. Got him with the old Steal the Talisman trick when they were short on lands. So yeah, I think it was a good read that they were digging for lands here. They didn't hit any of their double lands. They dug with an Ancient Stirrings and hit a second Grove. Then, I think stealing this was a good play because I've played this deck and I understand they had a handful of business, but no lands to cast it. So we get ourselves another win. What time is it? I think we got time for the last one. Famous last words, but here we go. Hopefully we have another, decently fast. That one was like a 10-minute match, 15-minute match. I don't think our opponent misplayed anything. They maybe the second hand they probably shouldn't have kept, but at the same time it might have been a hand where one Ugin's Lab or Eldrazi Temple and they would have been, Myco spawning us. Myco spawning themselves, to fetch a second temple and then kicking it, and then we're dead pretty quick there. I like Harbinger, I like Memory, and I got my 3 lands as well as Force and Shoal. This is a pretty good hand. This can deal with virtually anything. Oh, I've played this guy before. Is he playing Yogg? I don't know what he's playing, but I think I played him playing Yogg. We'll play out the teaching. There's an off chance that we want to Veil against a green-white deck, probably a creature deck. There aren't green-white combo decks that I know of. What do we got here? Haven't seen this guy in a while. Yeah, we'll show him. Especially because right now our opponent's weak to Seas. That's great. Play that out. We'll see if we get to survive it. I assume they have something to do this turn, but on the off chance we can force it, I don't know what we pitch because we kind of want to keep. I think we let that resolve because we really want our Harbinger to get out and our 4th land for this. Ooh, I don't like the Boseiju. They'd probably take it. I mean, there's not. They can't take the Malevolent Rumble. Maybe. Oh, they took the Thicket, so they need another land this turn? Red Bird. Okay. They've ramped. That surprises me. The bird and this make our Harbinger worse, but I still think it's our play this turn. It slows them at least. It interacts in some way, shape, or form. They can't like Quarter Calling now, which I assume this deck is playing, although it might be a Coco deck. It's hard to tell so far. Devoted Druid combo. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Stoneforge Mystic resolves. Are we getting a Cauldra? As long as it's not something that kills me next turn. We're gonna get to Selective Memory. We can play the Vision, which is nice. It comes in untapped. Luxa, no, it's something else. What's going on here? Luxior, I don't even know what this is. Equip permanent isn't a playing walker and is a creature in a dead pit. Some weird planeswalker combo-y deck. I don't think we can let Cauldron resolve. I don't actually know what this deck's doing, but it seems like we don't want that in there. I don't know. That's a very strong card, no matter what they're doing. I don't know what Luxior combos with. Been out of the loop with that one. Don't have to bolt myself. I think we're just gonna. I think maybe we'll leave 2 Thoracles up there. I don't know. We already have 3 devotions, so we can kind of afford the extra card. Part of me is like, should I leave like into the Flood Maw? Do I need to interact with something? I'm not sure. Snapback, maybe we have a second Harbinger in our hands, but that's not going to play. I clicked every card. Now I get to go and find out which cards it just decided I didn't click for some reason. Missed one of the Veils. Missed this Force for the 3rd time. We got a Thoracle and a Shoal. We're seeing this a lot. It feels like I'm winning with Selective Memory most of the time tonight. No more, and then I think, like I said, is it worth leaving 2? Whatever. I think we'll just leave 2, because it doesn't seem to be high risk. No, I'll just play correctly. The opponent hasn't shown us anything that says we need to play around. I'm not swinging. So again, I don't know what our opponent's doing. They still have like a decent amount of mana. They still have whatever color they want and a colorless. And they have what this is. I don't know what's Planeswalker that's in white and green that can play this in combo. I assume there's things that make giant creatures. I don't know if there's something that goes infinite. Creatures +1/+1 for each counter on it. So loyalty counters make so it could be a big dumb thing. But is there a thing that goes infinite? I don't think so. But opponent concedes. They at least knew enough to know what's going on. What do I do? It seems they could play around this, but they're playing a lot of non-fetches, right? Maybe we force them to keep playing around it. Stern Scolding seems very strong. Hits everything we saw. Every part of the combo that I know of. Spell Snare is a maybe. I think I want my Into the Flood Maws and Snapbacks because I can hit Germ Tokens. I can hit Planeswalkers that become creatures, I guess. I know someone watching this knows that there's a combo or knows what this deck is. It doesn't feel like Force is going to be super strong, although they might be playing Quarter Calling or something like I said, or the Planeswalker spell in the stack. I don't think it's going to have enough text in this matchup. Subtlety will. I don't know. I like keeping in blooms. I like being fast against other combo decks. It seems to be a combo deck, so maybe we are cutting the Harbingers. We'll let him keep himself. We'll see if our Spell Stingers are as good as I think they are in Stern Scoldings. And if they don't seem to be able to play around Harbinger, we can bring it in for game 3 if need be. We have only 2 lands, but we have a Preordain, and we get an extra draw. I have the 6 mana win here. I'm going to keep. I'm probably going to shock this in Preordain to try to hit Lotus and try to hit more lands. I guess we could snap back ditching the Stern Scolding if we wanted to. Well, this blanks our snapback in the future, so I think we're going to go ahead and do that. It's aggressive, but we got another land, which is nice. I think I'm still going to Preordain and see if we can hit that Lotus. No. So we have 3 lands. I need a 4th land for memory into Floodmaw. Can interact with anything. I think I'm fine with these versus just unknown draws. I think having an untapped 4th land and a 1 mana interaction spell that can interact with anything is good. Again, not using the Boseiju is great for us. I assume they understand how good it is against us and are just forced to use it for their combo, but I could play this untapped and hold up Jawari, but with Devoted Druid be able to do 2 green mana, it feels less good. We'll see if they end up going with like a Quarter Calling here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This makes our Into the Floodmaw worst. So might have to just use it. I don't know. Yeah. Make him play it again next turn. I forgot that we already snapped it back. I should have probably just bought him the Floodmaw. Anyway, Spellsnare's nice. We just have to play this so that we can play our combo next turn and hope whatever they're doing is slower. No. Seeing this card means bringing in Spellstare was definitely the right call. I'm not sure if playing our Snapback and Floodmaw as aggressively if we did was the right call, but like I said, it pretty much becomes useless if we leave that card out there, so they drew a second call. What do they get? Vizier. So infinite mana is yours. I guess we get to see him do a thing. Another 3rd call. Okay. Walking Ballista. Okay. I'm not gonna make you click through. Not gonna make you click through, sir. I understand how that works. So maybe we Commandeer for call. Force isn't as good because they're gonna use it on our turn sometimes. We can Commandeer their call and go grab either a land, a Thoracle, or a Harbinger maybe. Took them out. They don't seem to be able to really play around it. So I think we're bringing these back in. Maybe I don't know. They really hit everything. Cut the Floodmaws and Snapbacks might be too slow to really be reactive, honestly. Subtlety still hits everything. Or we cut Blooms and keep, but then we're like guaranteeing ourselves to like not win until turn 5, but try to interact, or do we try to set up for turn 4 wins with some measure of interaction as well? Cut these, we could bring in 2 Snapback, 2 Force, or some combination of them. I'm gonna play it like this. Like I said, I kind of like Bloom. Everyone has it as their first cut, but no Bloom. Preordain and Spell Snare and Flood. 3 interactive spells, 3 lands, and I think it's a keep. I'm gonna go and shock for turn 1, or bolt myself for turn 1. Preordain on the off chance we hit that Lotus Bloom. We don't. I can hold up Smell Stare next turn. And I want another untapped land, another spell snare maybe? I think so. Don't know that I want to dig for like a subtlety at this point. I think I'm fine kind of playing more fair magic, so to speak, casting my spells for real. Because then I can play out this one, pass, spell snare something this turn. Next turn I can do some combination of spell snare and Into the Flood or Joy, depending on what I draw. But I want to leave an untapped land for turn 4 for this. Beseju. This turn they get to use it. It's not ideal. Not ideal. Deck used to play 1 basic in the sideboard, but we don't do that now. Still has 6 cards in hand. Another one. Yikes. Might not make it. Might not make it. Of course we drew another 1 mana spell. Okay, that's something. Really would have liked the Lotus Bloom. Well, we get to counter that, but we can't counter a second one. Maybe I should have shocked this in, or bolted this in specifically because of that. They buried another call is nice, so they probably got to take the land or the giver. They took the ballista. Okay. Well, we're hitting lands. I can cast both of these. I don't think it's worth holding up mana. I guess I want to play this one first. It's the off chance we want a 3-drop later or a blocker, depending on how things go. Double Beseju. Fun times. Another Rumble. I assume they take the Druid. Yep. Can cast the Druid. Do they have the Vizier? No. They would have left up a mana if they did. Oh, I should have countered that. I wasn't paying attention and maybe lost the game. I guess I have 2 counters for Vizier. Question is, do I just play my memory this turn? Or do I hold up interaction for Vizier? If I hold up interaction, I cast it next turn, I win on turn 8. If I cast it this turn, I win on turn 7, assuming he doesn't have Vizier or call for Vizier. He has 4 cards. I think we're just gonna hold up interaction. I should have countered this and we could have been going off already. I'm sorry. Sorry, team. It is probably my bedtime. They have the Vizier. Wowee, wowee, wowee. This is the one to use because this can hit a call. Which are more likely to have a call than another Vizier. Although this can hit both. That's why. It can hit both. So now we can memory holding up Spell Snare. Question is, do we want... I think we just have to go for the win next turn, right? The less draws we give them, the better. Because it could be like a pile we do that includes maybe like a Commandeer. I'm trying to think of what they have that could interact with Thassa's Oracle in green, white. Do they have any way that could make us draw? I think so. I end up beating this double Beseju and me like not countering the spell we should have countered, then this will be great. Great way to end the league. Come on, what's left? 1, Duper. You see when I highlight it here, it makes it a little easier to see the green lines and which cards don't have the green line. Like I said, we've been doing this a lot. We're just going to leave one Thoracle and hope for the best. That is the fastest win. We lose to a few things for sure out of our opponent. We know they already have the Ballista. They just need a Vizier to resolve. And if they like Quarter Calling for it, I can't do anything about it. So we haven't seen Cord yet, and they already have 2 calls in the graveyard and 1 Vizier. What if they play Shifting Wildwood as a way to like pick this up, so to speak? See if this seals the deal. It's our last card. You got another call, another Vizier. We know 1 card's a Ballista. They got 2 unknowns. Passing the turn but not conceding is scary. We could counter a 1-mana spell. Endurance. Yep, wasn't playing around that. I don't know that we really had a play around that. Okay. Shoot. This has to be X is one, like I can't counter it and make them pay 1 more, although they had 1 more anyways, just if you're curious how that works. So this means we'll have a library when this trigger resolves instead of having no library. Oops, I thought I was click 1, put it, that's not the card I wanted to draw. I might lose here. Opponent held up endurance. Like I said, our opponent conceded last time, so I was like wondering what they had to interact because they weren't conceding. They're digging. We want to see him put something in the graveyard, so that's a good sign. Layer of the Hydra. What is this? This isn't good. Whatever it is. X is 4. I gotta ping this down, maybe? Or just use it for combat. I can into the Flood Maw this, although they're just gonna cast it again. Opponent controls. I can't into Flood Maw my own Thoracle, which is a bummer. I should have paid attention to exactly what he put in the deck. Selective Memory. I don't think I don't have another Thoracle. Do I have any way of picking it up? Because that's the only way I win from here. I guess I don't need to play this out if there's no way to win. I don't have any snapbacks. I don't have my Brazen Borrowers. I don't think I have a way to win. If I had left double Thoracle, I would have had a way to win. Probably should have just done that on the blind. If I do this, he gets to ping me 4 times. Guess I'll hold this up. Because I can Disrupting Shoal something. Just trying to think if I actually have outs. I don't really need to make my opponent play it out. I guess it's not a super long clock anyway. Yeah, let's just bounce this. Counter Veil of Summer. Seems silly, but it draws him a card, so we'll do that. Yeah, they still get to ping me 3 times. 4. Oh no, they killed the Thoracle. Interesting. I'm trying to think. We have Selective Memory in there. Do we have Preordain? I don't know. Should put a counter on this and make this. Oh, they don't have even number. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not hard casting this, so we'll just play it. Am I dead? 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Well, we got. on that last one there. I just want to double check. I should have looked at these cards before they got shuffled in. Yeah, we had all our counter magic, but we didn't have a way. Like, Selective Memory doesn't win us the game again without more Thoracle. If I'd left the second Thoracle in the deck, we could have tried to, like, draw this and win with the second Thoracle. And that is something that, like, a relevance to keeping a snapback in the deck, too, but I wouldn't have left it in the pile anyway. Very close. Well played by our opponent. I mean, we almost beat double Boseiju. We dealt with multiple calls and a Vizier. Very close back and forth there. So, good stuff. Went up in a 3-2. Close games. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do all those things that people ask you to do. It's fun. Mostly comments just, encourage me that you guys, whoever's watching this, is enjoying the videos. I like interacting with the comments, even if you're telling me what I did wrong. Hope you have a great night.